Welcome to the official catch-up. I'm joined today by Lewis Fraser, reporter for Stirling Uni FC, fourth-year journalism and politics student, and president of Stirling Uni Golf. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for that intro.
You might know this. I don't actually know if a lot of people know. I studied politics at uni. What's the sort of curriculum nowadays? Is it anything interesting?
I suppose we get quite a broad range of choices, which is good. So I kind of focused mostly on UK stuff and Scottish stuff when I could. So, but if you want to do international politics as well, you can do. Obviously, the time that I've studied politics, there's been a lot going on in the UK, so I try to focus on that because it's obviously quite interesting and topical, good good topics to write about in assignments and stuff like that.
Do you ever get jaded from it all? Like if you see a few opinions flying about. I mean, that's kind of what put me off politics because I'd seen so many. Not to sound like smug or anything, but obviously, like yourself, I was studying it for 4 or 5 years, and I saw some sort of missing formed opinions, and it kind of got on my goat. So
Yeah, you definitely do. I think even sitting in classes sometimes listening to your classmates can be difficult, and then yeah, coming home if family members are around the dinner table, that kind of thing.
yeah.
You
I'm
can
glad
sort of
I'm glad it's not only me then, pal, because I literally can't stand politics because I spent a lot of my youth like studying it, obviously. So,
yeah, I'm in that way as well for sure.
um, and obviously, we're speaking to you today. Obviously, that you're a reporter for Stirling Uni. Was it mainly you know where you obviously have a passion for football due to I think you support Inverness Cali. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I started off with Stirling Uni and like the football team in my third year at uni. So I'm just about finished fourth year, and as a journalism student, it's been a lot of fun getting to follow the guys around and following the Lowland League more generally as well. It's been good fun.
In terms of your involvement, it's kind of been more of a recent thing over the last sort of season or two, I think. And were you a wee bit surprised at the quality in terms of in a good way? Because when I first sort of got into the Lowland League, it was mainly due to Kelty Hearts because I'm from Fife and stuff, and they had just came into the league. And I was of the opinion, and I totally understand these opinions. Are like, oh, you kind of look down on uni teams. But I just remember seeing Stirling Uni for the first time. I think they came to New Central Park and they drew 2-2. Blair Lyons, who's doing fantastically well, he's moving to Partick Thistle. He was just a complete standout. Kieran Hall, Craig Brown and stuff like that. Were you a wee bit shocked at the quality? Did it sort of impress you?
Yeah, it did impress me. Been to obviously watching Inverness and then going and watching Stirling Albion, you get used to a certain brand of football, I suppose. But
Hmm.
definitely with uni boys, like I've found they do try and play a good quality of football, and the guys that you mentioned there, Blair and Craig and Kieran as well, like all really talented players. I think maybe the reason they don't do as well in the league, or they do well in the league, but maybe don't finish as high up in the league, is just experience, and that they're such a young team, but the quality in the team is definitely there. There's a lot of guys who are really really talented players.
Yeah, would agree. And obviously, they won the Bucks. I think I believe it's the third time in their history. But yeah, fantastic achievement from Chris Geddes and the lads. And yeah, I always have a soft spot for Stirling Uni because of guys like Chris Geddes. We always chat and stuff when he's up and I see him and he's always been honest and great with us. And obviously David Chandler who travels up and he's without fail most times, even times we don't do pods, he sends us these interviews and stuff. And even with likes of yourself when you started doing them as well, we always tend to get an interview from you guys.
Yeah, nah, David's amazing. Travels up from Morecambe virtually every week, and even for if games are rearranged on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, he'll still travel up and film them, which is fantastic. And then Chris as well. Chris does a really good job with the team, and I think a lot of people who follow the Lowland League maybe forget that the boys are doing, like you said, Bucks as well, and on Wednesdays, which is kind of sometimes that might take priority, and it is a whole other league that they have to focus on rather than just the Lowland League.
Absolutely, and obviously, one of the reasons we're doing all these chats is because of the coronavirus. You're a fourth year student at Stirling Uni. How does that affect you guys? Or I spoke to Gary English yesterday. He's a mathematics teacher at Alloa Academy. Is it similar with uni? I take it all the exams are cancelled at the moment and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all up in the air really. I mean, for us, it's come so quickly, and the situation has changed so quickly, in that we've all kind of had to move out of our accommodation in Stirling and move back home. But for journalism students, we're still working on a few assignments. We're obviously doing that from home, which is totally different to working at uni or in the library. But yeah, it's completely changed everything for us. We just found out we're not having our graduation ceremony when we're meant to have it. It's going to be postponed. Hopefully we'll get it soon enough. But yeah, everything's kind of up in the air at the moment for us, which is a shame.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. I take it I can't quite remember when. I take it all your assignments are done and stuff like that, but have you still got your dissertation and stuff to hand in?
Yeah, exactly. We've got that due in the 10th of April, which is rather soon. So that's something to worry about. But no, I suppose we're all inside, so we don't really have any excuse not to do it. But
yeah,
it's that's kind of all that's left for us.
And are you any good at golf? I take it as the president of Stirling Uni Golf, you're you're pretty decent.
I've tried my best. Yeah, I've not had much chance to play recently. Just with uni work, and obviously it was just announced the other day that all the courses in the UK are pretty much shutting down.
Yeah.
So won't get much of a chance to play. But yeah, I used to play competitively, and I'll try and get back into it once uni's finished for sure. But no, it's good fun.
Yeah, golf was a weird sport for me because I was always into football when I was younger. I used to play football like almost every day because I had the sports centre pretty much quite near me, like 5-10 minute walk. And then golf I was kind of forced upon myself. My granddad used to take me golfing, and I didn't really, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I mean, it was fun and stuff, but I just didn't think I was that good. And I remember I got like what's under par again?
Birdie.
Birdie, yeah. I remember the proudest my granddad's ever been of me. I was on a par four, I got a birdie, and he was like so proud of me. And I was like, oh, maybe I should be doing golf. But no, it was just never my thing. I was always more into football and basketball in high school in particular. So, but yeah, it's good that like you have different interests and all this stuff. What are you hoping to do? Are you hoping to do sort of sports journalism or any sort of type?
Any kind of journalism would be good. That's kind of what we're all aiming for really in our course. But if I was able to get into sports stuff, that'd be brilliant. Obviously working with the football team at uni has been a great experience. So trying to carry on from that would be fantastic. Yeah, I'd love that.
And I take it you're back up in Inverness now.
I am, yes. Yeah, I'm back up in Inverness at home at the moment.
Did you have an interest in, obviously you were at Stirling and obviously involved in Stirling Uni, but did you have any interest in like the Highland League, for example?
I wouldn't say I have a massive interest. Obviously, it does have, well, it might have implications in what happens with the Lowland League in terms of that they've kind of called the season there and given Brora the title, which is quite interesting. So yeah, I think it's obviously you do follow it as a football fan, and to see that they're the first league in the country that kind of said that they're kind of calling the season as it is and stopping it there is interesting to see if that will have implications, particularly the Lowland League.
I have heard even people I've spoke to today saying that the Highland probably called it a wee bit too early. But to be honest, from my point of view, I think Brora were well ahead. It did look like they were sort of going to win the title. Obviously, a different case. Hearts are 6 points clear of Bonnyrigg Rose, but Bonnyrigg Rose have that game in hand. Plus, they've to play Kelty, or they were to play Kelty at New Dundas Park. So, and then obviously near the bottom, you've got Vale leaving 3 points away from Dalbeattie and 2 games in hand over Edinburgh Uni. So, more complicated, I think.
Much more complicated. Yeah, I think with the Highland League, it's probably if all the other teams agree to just call it and to kind of crown Rora champions, then they can't really have any complaints. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised if that was the case in the Lowland League, with Bonnyrigg and even BSC as well still being in with a shout at the title, and then down the other end probably where it's more important in that Vale of Leithen are bottom, but what 3 or 4 points away
Yeah.
from Dalby. So I think you it would be pretty harsh to call it there and relegate them. I think if you were stopping the season now, you probably I certainly wouldn't think that relegating Vale of Leithen would be fair at all.
No, not at all, and I'm a believer in that. And the funny thing was, or well, not so funny for Vale leaving, but they were set to play Dalbeattie not long before this happened, and the game got postponed, and obviously it was on social media, the reaction, if you will, of why it was postponed. The ref probably didn't fancy it or something, but had they won that game, I mean, they would be, you know, even points on with Dalbeattie. So yeah, it's a troubling one. I mean, what do you think should happen? Have you got any views on whether it should be null and void? If teams should be getting titles and stuff?
I think ideally, if it was possible, you'd want to try and play the season out to an end.
Mm-hmm.
But as it as obviously time goes on, it looks like that's not going to be possible. Um, yeah, it's a tough one. I think a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about restructuring leagues, which is a potential solution because teams like Kelty are gonna, Kelty and Rora as well up here are gonna feel like they should be getting promoted, whereas someone like Brecon, for example, are bottom of League Two, I believe.
Yep.
Um, if they were to be relegated when they've still got games left to try and claw that back, I think that's obviously going to be very unfair on them, and they're going to dispute that. So possibly restructuring leagues, and then if that's not something the governing bodies go for, then I think null and void is probably would be the way that would be fairest, in my opinion. I don't think you could either relegate someone, on the basis that a league's half finished, well, half finished would be okay because you've been playing the teams the same amount of times, but you've got games. Some teams will have had an easier run than others, and what have you. So I don't think it would be fair to relegate teams on that basis.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right, Lewis. And out of interest, obviously, I kind of touched on it a wee bit earlier, but uh, Stirling Uni, the West of Scotland teams are coming in now, and it was kind of similar with the East Juniors. But do you think there's an attitude about uni teams like pretty much what I said I used to have before I saw the sort of quality and the hard work put in by like Stirling and Edinburgh? Do you, how do we get rid of that perception of uni teams are they shouldn't be in the league and
Yeah, I do know exactly what you mean. I think it's maybe down to the teams not having a massive following. You go to Kelty and they'll get a few hundred to their games, but I was at the uni derby against Edinburgh Uni not so long ago, and it's not a big crowd that goes, and that maybe has something to do with people's perceptions. But I think, like you're saying, when you go and actually watch them play, you realise that they are there on merit, and that the guys who play for the teams are very good. They're very a good team that deserve to be in the league. And if they didn't deserve to be in the league, then they'd finish bottom and they'd be
Yeah.
relegated, in my opinion. So, and yeah, I think if the teams are doing well enough to stay in the league and be competitive, then that should be enough to get rid of that stigma. But if people, if that's not changing people's minds, then I think it's quite difficult to change their mind.
Yeah, agree, mate, and that's what I do often hear that. Obviously, not just obviously the uni teams, but like Sevilla, Leaving, Del Beatty, they always seem to come up as well. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're on there on they're in there on merit. They have survived in the league so far. I mean, west of Scotland, east of Scotland, all these sort of teams that are ambitious and stuff, they'll get to where they need to be eventually, and it will work itself out. But Stirling Uni, I think, where they've pretty much been, in 10th most of the season. I think for I don't know how many weeks. I'm pretty sure it's since week 4 or 5 that they've been in 10th, and that's above the likes of Berwick Rangers that came down, above. I'm not sure if it's above Gala, but Berwick Rangers, for example, and 6 teams below them basically, and pretty much almost mid-table, if you will.
Yeah, I think they've been 10th since week 2.
Week 2, is it?
After week 1, so slow progress up the league. But they've. I think this season you've got to look at games like they beat East Kilbride at K Park and then beat East Stirlingshire at Falkirk Stadium as well. So if they can hold their own against teams like that, then there's no reason they shouldn't be in the league. But yeah, maybe hopefully guys' opinions could change on that. But like you mentioned, Blair Lyons earlier now signing for Partick Thistle, and he's a product of the university team at Stirling. So I think if more players do work their way up the ranks, and you've got people like Rory McEwen at Elgin and Angus Mailer's just signed for Elgin as well.
Yeah.
If people who have played for uni start moving up into higher up leagues, then that might help change people's perceptions, and that's definitely happening at the moment with quite a few guys from uni.
Yeah, agree. I actually, it's funny you mentioned the East Stirlingshire result. I remember Andy Williamson, who does the East Stirlingshire Twitter. I think he had put out something like Stirling are time wasting, but they're playing for the point, and then obviously Stirling Uni go in and score and get the winner. So yeah, that was a wee bit of banter there between myself and Andy Williamson. I'll let everyone know that he had said that basically on the catch up. So
yeah, I was sitting. It's Gary, the chaplain from the club, who does Stirling Uni's Twitter during match days, and he was having a good laugh at that one when we went ahead and won the game. But yeah, no, that was quite funny. We have been accused of time wasting before, that's for sure. And then obviously going on to win that game is a funny one.
In terms of like the current squad, you obviously mentioned guys like Gus Mailer and I've mentioned like Craig Brown and Kieran Hall. But is there any guys that you've been particularly impressed with this season?
I would say Ben Fry in goal has been fantastic. He's not the biggest keeper that you're ever gonna watch, but some of his shot stopping has been fantastic throughout the season. There's been games where the Uni could have been quite a few goals down, and Ben's kept it close. So he's definitely unsung hero maybe. And then you mentioned Craig as well, Craig Brown in the middle of the park's been fantastic all season. He's the top goal scorer for the team in the Lowland League, from kind of centre mid, which says it all really. So Craig's been fantastic. And then, I'd say Alex Webb at centre half as well. He's maybe not got as much of a run in the team as he'd want, but he's always very solid at the back, beside Gus as well. So, no, I wouldn't say there's anyone there's no one who sticks out as being a bad player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all technically good players. It's just, like I say, experience. You know, coming up against senior players when you're sort of 19, 20 years old, it's going to be great experience for the guys if they're moving up the leagues as they get older. But no, all those guys are great players for sure. Following the uni this season, as sad as it is that it's cut short, has been a lot of fun and good fun following the Lowland League as well. So hopefully it can come to a resolution on how it's finished. But yeah, no, it's been a great year for sure.
Well, good luck on your dissertation, mate. I hope everything works out for you, and yeah, I'll keep in touch, and we'll see how it goes, and obviously let us know if you need any sort of links and stuff. I know a few journalists and stuff. If you're ever needing a hand, I might be a bit struggling up at Inverness way, but sort of Midlothian, I could get you in contact with a few people. To help you out once your dissertation and your results are through. All the best, and take care of yourself. And I'm glad to have chatted to you, mate.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks for that. Cheers.